उस नियत से पढ़ लो। ये बाहर से ले ये यहाँ कर। नहमदुहु व नसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम। My respected elders and brothers, yesterday in the story of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, we stopped at this point that when the wife of the king of Egypt mentioned that either you have a relationship with me, fulfill my desire, otherwise I'll throw you in the prison with a wrongful case on you. Yusuf alayhi salam said, Rabbis sijnu ahabbu ilayya mimma yad'unani ilay. That, O Rabb, O Allah, the prison is more beloved to me than the evil action this lady is calling me towards. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his dua. He ended up in the prison. This is the point where we stop. Now when he entered the prison, Yusuf alayhi salam started giving da'wat towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards the deen, to the inmates of the prison. So slowly they became near to him. They developed a good relationship with him. This teaches us that wherever a believer, a Muslim is, wherever he finds a conducive environment, an environment where people would listen to him, he should call towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with wisdom, keeping in mind the mentality of the people, the delicacy of the situation and everything. So two people came to him and he said, you look like a pious person, Allah-fearing person. We have seen a dream. Give us the interpretation of the dream. So one dream was, one said that two of the inmates, one said, I am pressing wine. The other said that I am carrying bread on my head, roti, and the birds are eating from it. So Yusuf alayhi salam did not say that I know, yes, I know the interpretation of the dream. He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught me this. So this tells us whatever quality me and you have, whatever skill me and you have, it is not our own, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should always refer it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I didn't do this. Allah made it easy for me to do this. Allah helped me. So he said, by the will of Allah, what Allah has taught me, I will tell you. And he said, and he did not say exactly to the person who saw what. He gave the exact interpretation, but did not say that which interpretation belongs to which person. He said, one of you will serve the king and his cabinet, and this was in fact the person who was pressing the wine. And one of you will be given the death penalty. This is the person from whose head the birds will eat, the roti, the bread. But he didn't say that you will be given death penalty. He just, so that person doesn't become sad. So eventually this happened. One was allowed to leave. He became one of the one of the people working in the kitchen of the king. The person who saw that I'm pressing wine. And the server of the cabinet, whenever people would come, he would serve juice and stuff like this. And the one who saw that the birds are eating from my head, he was hanged. And the birds ate from his head literally. So when Yusuf alayhi salam saw the decision is made and he is leaving one of the people, he said, do me a favor. When you go in the court of the king, you are now part of his court. Tell him that there is an innocent person in the jail and he should be taken out. So in other words, intercede on my behalf whenever you get a chance. So the person said, sure, why wouldn't I intercede for you on your behalf? But the Quran says that the shaitan made him forget to talk about, to intercede to Yusuf alayhi salam, regarding Yusuf alayhi salam to the king. And many years passed away. Yusuf alayhi salam stayed in the jail, in the prison. The ulama, the mufassirin have written a point here. They say, why did Allah make that person forget about Yusuf alayhi salam? He was innocent. He was passing through a situation that he was not supposed to be there. But still Allah made that person forget. Why? There's a saying in Arabic, Hasanatul Abrar, Sayyiatul Muqarrabin. The translation in Urdu is कि अबरार की जो नेकियां हैं वो मुकर्रब लोगों के भी गुनाह हैं. अबरारों के लिए तो वो नेकियां हैं, लेकिन जो मुकर्रब अल्लाह के करीब तरीन बंदे हैं वो नेकियां उनके लिए भी गुनाह हैं. How, what does it mean? Let me give you an example. There are two siblings in the house, two brothers. One always gets a position, first, second, third, okay, or 90%, 95%. The other sometimes passes, the others, and sometimes he fails. He gets less than 65%. So the final exam takes place, and this boy who usually passes and fails, he gets 70%. The parents are really happy. Oh, you passed. We weren't expecting this. And the boy who usually gets first, second, third, he comes fourth or sixth in class. Instead of 90%, he gets 75% or 82%. The parents still become angry on him. The first boy, he passed, he got 65% and the parents are happy. And for the second child, the parents are angry. Why? Because their expectation level was high with this boy, that he should be in the category of 90% and above. Why has he fallen down? This is Hasanatul Abrari Sayyatul Muqarrabeen. Though he is good, but on the expectancy level of his parents, he's still losing. So things that are good things for me and you, that are fine and permissible for me and you, they are not fine for the Prophets alayhi wassalatu wassalam. And Yusuf alayhi salam was a prophet. So Allah did not like this, that why did he ask help from a human being instead of depending on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He should have asked Allah that, oh Allah, make him a source of getting me out of prison, rather than just speaking to him and forgetting about me. मुझसे नज़र हटा के इंसान से उम्मीद बांधी, ये नबी के मर्तबे के मुताबिक नहीं है. मैं और आप सिफारिश कर दें, वो इतना भारी नहीं है अल्लाह पाक के ऊपर. लेकिन नबी जिसको अल्लाह पाक चुनते हैं, जिसकी तरबियत खुद फरमाते हैं, उसकी मामूली सी चीज़ भी अल्लाह पाक को नापसंद होती है. तो इधर ये नुक्ता है. दिस इज़ द पॉइंट दैट द मुफस्सिरीन हैव मेंशन्ड हियर. The incident, the story continues. It might get a little late. I'll try to digress it, make it short as much as possible, but we'll finish it today. Then a few years passed away. Yusuf alayhi salam is still lying in the prison. The king saw a dream. Inni ara sab'a baqaratin simanin ya'kuluhunna sab'un ijaf. I am seeing 7 fat cows eating 7 lean and weak cows. Wa sab'a sumbulatin khudar wa ukhra yabisat. 7 years of grain that are green and 7 years that are dry. O people, my cabinet, tell me the dream, interpretation of the dream. They said, no, maybe your stomach was not good that night. So you just saw this doesn't mean, what is this dream? 7 fat cows eating 7 weak cows. So now this person, while this conversation was going on and he was serving juice to the cabinet, he overheard this conversation. And he said, O king, if you allow, I know a person who can give you the interpretation of this dream. Allow me to go. So he said, look, go, get the interpretation. He came to Yusuf alayhi salam. Now Yusuf alayhi salam did not say, Meri baat to bhool gaye, ab kaam pada to aa gaye mere paas. You forgot the responsibility that I gave you, and now since you need something from me, now you have come after so many years. No. He just forgave him. He let it go. He gave him the interpretation that the next 7 years will be full harvest. And the 7 years after the first 7 years will be famine. So whatever you eat, other than that, store it in the storehouses for the next 7 years. So once those 14 years finish, 7 good, 7 bad, the next year will be full of rain and everything, and you will return to the original position. So whatever you eat, otherwise save it. And save it within the years. Do not take out the grains, the oats or the barley or the wheat from it. So this is the interpretation, and this is the way to act upon this interpretation. I'm giving you both things. He went to the king, and the king said, why is this intelligent person lying in the prison? Go and take him out. So he went, when that person went again, so Yusuf alayhi salam said, no, go and tell your king, inquire that what was the case of those women who cut their fingers. I want to clear my record, otherwise I don't want to come out of prison. Otherwise people will say that the king forgave him and my life will ever be tainted. So go and ask your king what was the situation, clear the record. The king called the women folk. The women folk said, قُلْنَا حَاشَ لِلَّهِ مَا عَلِمْنَا عَلَيْهِ مِنْ سُوءٍ. That upon Allah, we have not seen a single bit wrong in this person. قالت امرأة العزيز الآن حصحص الحق أنا راودته عن نفسي. The wife of the king of Egypt said, I had seduced him. I had fallen in love with him. There is nothing wrong in this person. وَإِنَّهُ لَمِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ. He is from among the righteous. So they said, okay, just wrap it up. Again, it was a matter of the honor of the king. It shouldn't go out. So eventually he was given a clean slate. He came out. The king said, now you are my personal assistant. أَسْتَخْلِصْهُ لِنَفْسِي. So, and I am giving you these responsibilities. Yusuf alayhi salam said, no, give me the responsibility of the treasury. But in our country, we say the finance minister. Here in the US, we say the secretary of the treasury. He said, make me the secretary of the treasury. I am a trustworthy person. I am a knowledgeable person, means Allah has given me the knowledge of economics. One is Allah inspires and teaches someone. And one is we learn from the world. There is a huge difference when Allah teaches directly as compared to the knowledge of this world. So Allah taught Yusuf alayhi salam the interpretation of the dream also. Allah taught Yusuf alayhi salam the economics of that time also. Moving forward, then he made a plan that once the famine started, 7 years he was in the treasury. Once the famine started, the plan was everybody will get a ration card and you will be allowed to take 1 load of camel per family member, not more than that. And the prices will be controlled, no black market rates. The prices will be controlled, and Yusuf alayhi salam made this system. So the news spread. The books of tafsir say Yaqub alayhi salam and his 11 sons were not in Egypt. They were somewhere in the area of Sham, but the news spread that this is happening. So they also came to get their share. So when they came, Yusuf alayhi salam recognized them, but they didn't recognize Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam said, everybody is here. How many family members are there? He said, there is one son, our father doesn't let him go. So he said, why didn't you bring him? So our father doesn't allow him to come. Okay, please give us his share also. How should I give you his share? This is against justice. No, please give us his share. Okay, I am giving you his share, but next time you have to bring him. If you don't bring him, I will not even give you your share. So they went and he told one of the workers, the goods, the money that they have given to buy the controlled barley and wheat, put it back in their bags. So when they went home, it was in the books of tafsir say, it was barter system at that time. They gave leather, and instead of leather, they got the rations. So when they went home, they opened up and the money was there, the barley was there, everything was there. They said to the father, how good this king is. If you don't allow, none of us will get the rations. The father said, that as you did with Yusuf alayhi salam, you will do with Binyamin also. But eventually, I leave him in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In today's language, you shouldn't take the same flight. 11 of you should take 11 different flights. But in the words of the Quran, you should enter the city from different gates. Don't enter together, otherwise nazar, evil eye will come on you, that one family has 11 people. Imagine how much rations they will get. So I don't want this to happen. Eventually they entered separately. Yusuf alayhi salam told Binyamin, I am your brother, but remain quiet. Don't say anything. I'll do something. You will stay with me. So when the rations were given, the bowl or the scale with which everybody would get a ration, the measurement scale, Yusuf alayhi salam told one of the workers to bury it in the bag of Binyamin. So, and then the remaining workers were searching. They announced, somebody stole the bowl of the king. You have stolen it, because they were about to leave. How have we stolen it? You know, when somebody hasn't done something wrong, he said, go ahead and do it. Give me the punishment. No problem. I have not done it. So they said, no, we have not done it. They said, what if we check and you have done it? We will give you the punishment. Yes, go ahead and give us the punishment. The punishment of the land is, if you have stolen, you will become the slave for the next part of your life. Go ahead and make us. They readily said this. So the boys, the workers didn't start from the bag of Binyamin, they started from the bag of the other 10 brothers. And at the end they came at the bag of Binyamin, and eventually Binyamin had to stay. जिसको उर्दू में कहते हैं सर पकड़ लिया उन लोगों ने कि अब वालिद साहब को हम क्या जवाब देंगे. What will be our reply? First, we did something wrong with Yusuf. Now Binyamin has done something wrong. It's beyond our control. They went to the father. They said, ask the caravan. We didn't do anything. And Binyamin has done it and all these things. Again, the father said, فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. I won't complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but I would do sabr. And he would keep on crying, and Yaqub alayhi salam had lost his eyesight. So Yaqub alayhi salam told the sons that my heart says that Yusuf is also there alive and Binyamin is also there. Go and bring both of them. Go for the third time. The sons said, how would Yusuf be alive amongst themselves? They said, Binyamin is fine, but they had to listen to the father. They went and said, O king of Egypt, so and so has happened with our father. So now Yusuf alayhi salam could not bear it anymore, that my brothers have come for the third time. He said, Hal alimtum ma fa'altum bi Yusuf wa akhi. Do you know what you did with your brother Yusuf and his brother? So जिसको उर्दू में कहते हैं कि ज़मीन से पैर से ज़मीन निकल गई. They were lost. How do you know Yusuf? قالوا أئنك لأنت يوسف. Are you really Yusuf? He said, Ana Yusuf. Yes, I am Yusuf. And then this is my brother Binyamin. قَدْ مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا. Again, he did not say, I am the king. He said, مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا. Allah has favored me. Allah has done ihsan on me. Now this is something to understand. Why has Allah done ihsan on me? Like the way Allah has favored me, Allah could favor you also. If you do two things. This ayah tells those two things, that if me and you can acquire, Allah can shower His mercies upon all of us. What are those two things? إِنَّهُ مَن يَتَّقِي. Whoever acquires taqwa, meaning fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The lady seduced me, because of the fear of Allah, I ran, Allah opened up the doors. Again, the lady seduced me, wanted to have an evil act with me. I said I would rather go in the jail innocent, but I won't do this evil act. So I stayed away because of the fear of Allah. So you should have the fear, whoever has the fear of Allah, وَيَصْبِرْ. And whoever is patient upon the calamities that come from his relatives, that comes from his brothers and sisters or anything in this world, he is patient on it. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah does not waste the reward of the people who do ihsan and who do favors with others. So that's why our relatives might do something wrong with us. Our sons and daughters might do something wrong with us. Our parents might do something wrong with us. Forgive me for saying this, but we should be patient. As parents, we should not go and complain regarding our sons. मेरा बेटा ऐसा हो गया या मेरा बेटा ऐसा कर रहा है. हम अपने आप को ही बदनाम कर रहे हैं दुनिया में जाके अपने बच्चों की बुराई करके. We should rather make dua for them. The dua comes ahead. Okay? So sabr and taqwa. Then fast forward. Okay, Yusuf alayhi salam said, how is my father doing? He has lost his eyesight because of crying for you, and now for Binyamin also. He said, take my shirt, put my shirt on my father, on the face so it touches his eyes. And it was done, and as soon as it was placed, the eyesight returned. What does it tell us? We cannot deny the barakah of the pious people. The Prophets alayhimus salatu wassalam, the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, and the people level by level after them, barakah does exist as far as based on the piety of that person. So this was the result of the barakah of the qamis, the shirt of Yusuf alayhi salam. So now pack up everything, return to Egypt. They came to Egypt, and eventually when Yusuf alayhi salam raised them on the throne, on the arsh, the sons also did sajda to Yusuf alayhi salam. the mother and father also did sajda to Yusuf alayhi salam. It was allowed in the Sharia. It is not allowed in the Sharia of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So now the dream came true that Yusuf alayhi salam saw in his childhood. Now what is the dua of Yusuf alayhi salam? Yaqub alayhi salam passed away first. Quran tells us this. Yusuf alayhi salam passed away afterwards. So what was the dua of Yusuf alayhi salam? Anta waliyyi fid dunya wal akhirah. You are my protector in this world also and in the hereafter also. First he said, Rabbi qad ataytani min al-mulki wa 'allamtani min ta'wil al-ahadith. You gave me the kingdom, it's nothing of my own. You taught me the knowledge, the economics, the interpretation of the dream and everything. It has nothing to do with me. You are my protector in this world and the hereafter. Tawaffani muslima. Allow me to die in a state of iman. How many times I make this dua, how many times we make this dua. Being a prophet, he is making this dua, allow me to die in a state of iman. नबी ये दुआ कर रहे हैं कि मुझे ईमान की हालत में इस दुनिया से उठा. ये सिखाता है कि हमें क्या दुआएं करनी चाहिए. व अलहिक़नी बिस्सालिहीन, second dua, and join me, resurrect me on the day of judgment with the pious people. और क़यामत के दिन मुझे नेकोकारों के साथ मेरा हशर फरमा. अब ये मेरे लिए अपने आप से सवाल करने की बात है, आपको अपने आप से, कि हम कितनी ये दुआ करते हैं. मैं ये समझूं कि मैं इमाम हूँ तो मैं बचा हुआ हूँ, नहीं. एक सेकंड भी नहीं लगेगा, शैतान राह रास्ते हटा देगा, पता ही नहीं चलेगा. इसलिए ईमान को मांगना है, इसलिए नेक लोगों के साथ हशर को मांगना है. I think that I am the imam and nothing can na'uzubillah happen. No, shaitan would take less than a second to misguide me and waste the entire effort of our life. And because a person, no matter how pious he or she is, if they die not in a state of iman, they go straight to the hellfire, to Jahannam. So that's why this is what we are being taught, asking Allah to die, to leave this world in a state of iman and to be resurrected from amongst the pious people. Okay, that's it. Whatever was said and heard, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the understanding of these things. Ameen. Subhanallah wa bihamdih, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.